So, if you're constantly overwhelmed and feel like you're drowning in chaos, I want you to know it's not your fault, and it's something we'll help you sort out in this video. From the notifications pinging nonstop to our mile-long to-do lists, everyone seems to want something from us, right? It's like juggling 10 balls in the air, just hoping against hope that we don't drop one or even all of them. Right? Studies show that the average person is bombarded with between 10 and 74 gigabytes of information every single day. Now, even on the low end of that scale, that's the equivalent of 10,000 books of information, all screaming for your attention every single day. Now, think about that. No wonder we feel exhausted, stressed out, and overloaded. But here's the thing: chaos doesn't have to control you. There is a way out. And it all starts with knowing your purpose, right? Why you do what you do. Now, purpose simplifies everything. It cuts through the noise, clears your mind, and gives you a path forward. And in today's video, we're going to go through a 3-step process to deal with all that stress and chaos in your life. First, we'll deal with all that information, right? All the media and phone notifications that bombard you every single day, and show you how to filter them from your life effectively. Then we'll deal with the stress from all the information that makes it through the filter by flipping the way that you think about the action that you need to take on those. Then we'll help you use those to create choices and freedom in your life, because a lot of overwhelm and stress actually comes from feeling like you have to act on the information that you receive, that you have no choice. And we want to help you create a situation where you do have choices. And stick around till the end, because I've got a bonus tip that helps our clients get all of that done in a simple and powerful way that's most fulfilling for you. And we'll do all this, mastery not required. So if I'm meeting for the first time, my name's Tim Loh, and in 2016, I walked away from a 20-year corporate law and investing career. I've been helping busy executives and business owners just like you cut through the noise, simplify your decisions, and create multiple income streams, not by mastering complex skills, but by aligning everything you do with your purpose. Now, if you're tired and feeling stuck and overwhelmed, like you're running in circles, then you're in the right place. So let's dive in and get you free from all that chaos. Now, we live in a world of constant noise, right? Think about it. Everywhere you turn, there's another notification, headline, or video trying to grab your attention. I said earlier, studies show 10,000 books a day on the low end. And so this is where we're going to start, because the truth is, most of the information doesn't actually help you. When we work with our clients after the exercises, we usually find that their stress comes from a couple of sources: media and messages from their bosses or customers. Now, of course, there's family demands and all that, and I'll get to that. Right? But let's deal with that first bit first, the media. To deal with all those stressful headlines, I want to let you in on a thought that really helps our students. Right? The media isn't there to inform you. They get nothing out of you being better informed. All they want is to get your clicks, your time, and ultimately to serve you more advertising so that they can boost their shareholder value. As I'm preparing this video, I'm seeing sensational headlines like the end of the dollar, or the global economic collapse, or stock market crash imminent. Then you've got Bitcoin to $1 million and Bitcoin to $1, right? All these are just designed to get your attention through creating fear or desire, both of which are stress-inducing. So think about this. Are they actually helping you make better investing decisions? If anything, they're just confusing you and possibly making a very bad decision. And of course, the media doesn't just stop at investing, right? Headlines like 5 foods that will kill you, or one exercise that you're doing wrong, right? All these headlines are stress inducing if you think about it. And they're not going to help you live a better life. They're about grabbing your attention and creating outright fear, or fear that you're missing out. And often these are the sort of headlines that rarely give you anything actionable or valuable. That's why I do my very best in each video to teach you relevant, actionable steps so you can live a happier and more fulfilled life that's aligned with your purpose, not my agenda. Now, in this case, the first step to reduce the overwhelm is to cut down on consuming all this noisy, stressful information. And all you need to do is to ask yourself, does this piece of information help me, or is it just designed to induce fear or fear of missing out? Is it just pushing their agenda, or is it actually helping me? Because the sad truth is most of this is just noise. I'll give you another example from finance because that's what I know. No matter how many doom and gloom headlines get published over the years, the economy hasn't crashed. Right? No one succeeded in betting against innovation or the US economy for generations. Just look at all these old headlines. Right? The fact is, these doom and gloom headlines are so prevalent, so often, that Warren Buffett had to remind the public on many, many occasions that it doesn't make sense to bet against America. So don't get caught up in all that stress-inducing hype. And talking about stress, those stress inducing headlines only cause stress because they make you feel like you need to take action and possibly to do it right now. You see that headline and suddenly you're panicking, right? Should I sell my US investments? Should I be investing in Bitcoin? Should I quit my job? Should I stop feeding my kids these 5 poisonous foods? Right? It never ends. But here's the thing. Not all information is worth acting on. You have to filter it through your purpose. Ask yourself, does this get you closer to your life's purpose? Now, the first thing we do is we get all our clients really clear on their life's purpose because we want their income streams and all the work they do to be fulfilling. But if you don't know what your life's purpose is, you can ask yourself, does this get me closer to where I want to be in 20 years? See, this question is powerful because it forces you to zoom out and look at the big picture. It's so easy to get caught up in the short-term decisions that don't actually align with your long-term vision. Does driving your kids or taking time for a meal with them get you closer to where you want to be in 20 years? If so, do more of that. I mean, that's an obvious one. But what about something less clear? Perhaps that once in a lifetime new investment idea that sounds crazy exciting today, right? Maybe you've asked yourself, is it moving you towards financial freedom or just adding more stress to your plate? And you think, yeah, I do want financial freedom in 20 years, but I don't want to take such a big risk. And yes, this is one that I hear from new clients all the time. Now, I'll give you an example, right? They hear lots of people talking about how you must invest in, Bitcoin or gold or some form of derivative of that. But these assets are speculative, meaning there's no basis for how much they're worth aside from how much someone else is willing to pay for them. Meaning also that you have no clear idea of how much their value will grow by. I explained this a little more in my last video, linked in the description. Now, if your goal is to retire in 20 years, then you have no way of estimating how much these are going to be worth in 20 years. Whereas if you invested in something that made money consistently, for instance, like McDonald's or Coca-Cola or even an index ETF, you would have analyst estimates of how much they would grow in the next year, how much they'll grow in the next 5 years, and then you can go from there and you can also project how much you'll get in dividends. Now, once you understand this, you can put aside all speculative investments and focus your efforts only on income-generating assets. And that cuts down a whole chunk of hypey, stress-inducing content that you no longer need to consume. See, this question acts like a filter. If the answer isn't a clear yes, then you need to drill down a lot more and see if the math adds up. That's what we tell all our students and clients. The math needs to add up and get you where you want to go. And everything else is hype. And keeping this in mind will help you focus only on the actions that truly matter, that bring you closer to the life that you actually want to live. The best part about having done all this work to filter the action that you'll take is that you know that you'll be fulfilled just by taking the action, because all of them, even the hard ones, are eventually getting you closer to your 20-year goal or your life purpose. We'll get to dealing with those pesky messages from your boss and workmates or customers and those stressful family demands shortly. But first, I want to give you a gift. I've literally just filmed a quick and actionable 20-minute video where I dive into the 3 keys to being fulfilled and wealthy. Now, most people believe that they have to choose between fulfillment and wealth, thinking that they can either have a stressful, high paying job or a fulfilling job that doesn't pay as well. And so they quit their jobs to do fulfilling work and take on a simpler lifestyle. But the sad truth is, most people I've seen do this don't end up fulfilled. In fact, the family stress takes over because they just don't have enough money and hence don't have as many choices as they used to. But here's the truth. You don't have to choose between fulfillment and wealth. You can have them both. And in this training, I share the 3 things that the fulfilled and wealthy do differently, things that most people miss entirely. So if you've ever wondered how to align your wealth and purpose, this training is for you. Just head to fulfilledwealthy.com to get instant access to the video. Now back to the episode. So now let's deal with all those pesky messages from your boss or colleagues or customers and those stressful family demands. And to do all that, you need to answer the question, does taking action on this give me more choices or fewer choices? Now at first, this may sound counterintuitive, right? We've just finished filtering information, filtering out action, and now we want more choices? But freedom actually comes from having more choices. You often hear people say they want financial freedom, and sometimes that's pinned to a particular number. But what they actually want isn't that number. It's the choices that they'll get to have once they get to that number. The freedom to quit their job or to travel the world. The freedom to spend time with their kids or a loved one. And all that's about having choices. Now, on the other hand, having fewer choices is the leading cause of stress. You often hear that money is the number one cause for fights in marriages. That's because not enough money means not enough choices. Now, I hear people saying they have no choice but to sell their cars or their homes, or people who say they have no choice but to stay in a job that they hate. Right? Lack of choice is stressful. Now, some decisions lead you down narrower and narrower paths. For example, you sometimes hear gurus tell people to quit your job and go all in on a new venture, right? Burn the boats, so to speak. But that actually gives you fewer choices, and that's stressful. Now, what we tell our students instead is to create more and more income streams. That gives them more and more choices, right? Whether or not they quit their jobs is determined by that first question. Does the job get them closer to where they want to be in 20 years? Sometimes it's a yes, sometimes it's a no, and sometimes maybe. But whatever it is, by having more and more income streams, we get them to a place where they get to choose whether to work or not. And once that happens, those stressful messages from the boss or difficult customers, they're no longer stressful. Once you have that choice, you become happier, less stressed. You'll do better work and actually earn more. And then it's up to you whether you want to leave your job or business. By then, you'll naturally have more income and more time. You'll be happier. You can choose to spend your time how you want. Hire someone to mow your lawn or hire someone to do your dishes. By now, you have choices. And those family demands, well, they'll start to fade away as well. And you might think that all of this is so far away, but remember, all the action you need to do to get you to this point is purpose-led. You did the filtering in an earlier step. And now, every time you take action, it's going to get you closer to your life's purpose or where you want to be in 20 years. So taking those steps isn't going to be hard. See, purpose-led decisions will get you more and more options, not fewer. It'll reduce your stress, make you more money, all at the same time. So by now, we've narrowed down the content you consume, we've narrowed down the action you need to take. We're taking action on what gets us closer to our purpose, our 20-year life goal, and we're taking action to get ourselves more income and more choices. And now I want to give you a bonus tip that'll help you get all of that done with ease and in a way that feels fulfilling and not overwhelming. And the secret is you don't need to master everything. Because that's another trap that I see people falling into all the time and more than any other, thinking that they need to master all those new skills. You want to start a new income stream or a new business, and suddenly you think you've got to learn every single skill to make it work. But that's simply not true. And here's the reality: mastery is not only not required, it's not even desired. See, most people never succeed with multiple income streams because they try and master everything, and that's just too hard. The mastery often seems complex, and complexity means stress. And before you know it, you're juggling even more balls than before. Instead, let your purpose determine how good you need to be at something. And here's a simple example. If your purpose is to drive your kids to school, you don't need to master driving like a race car driver. You just need to be good enough for your purpose, which is to get them there safely. And I call that purpose-led proficiency. And the same is true for your income streams and your skills. And while many people manage to apply this approach to all areas of their life, they often default to mastery when it comes to income or finances, the very areas that could toggle them from stressed to having more choices. So give yourself permission to let purpose, not mastery, guide your income and your financial decisions. And that's where true freedom begins and overwhelm and chaos end. You'll realize it's all about focusing on what truly matters and not doing it all perfectly. And that's how I got out of my law career, by starting a simple business that replaced my law income in just 6 months, working just hours a day. Right? I didn't master every single skill. I couldn't. There was just no time. I quit my law career to have more time, not to work in a stressful startup. Because here's the truth: you don't have to be trapped by chaos. Purpose is your way out. It's your path to clarity, to freedom, and ultimately the life you want to live. I go into more depth on that in the video on screen now, or head over to fulfilledwealthy.com and grab that 20-minute video where I share the 3 keys to getting out of a chaotic life by being fulfilled and wealthy without the stress and strain of mastering a load of new skills. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon.